Alright. We should be all live at this point. Just need to put on some music. No, not that. That's not what I'm looking for. You'd think at some point I would have learned, hey, I should probably put on the music first before I actually start streaming. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, let's just do something relaxing. That's pretty good, I'll take that. Okay, so we have a new camera set up this time. I have the webcam in a ring light and pointed at the bench. And you might see the microscope here. I actually have this rigid mount just came in just today. And I'm hoping that it's going to work. It seems a bit better than the cheap swing arm that I tried the last time. And I know that all the angles are cattywampus, and all of the and the bench is a complete disaster. I know. I know it is. Okay, so I've been building gridfinity boxes for a little while, and I have been trying to use up this roll of black PLA that I have. This box is finished, so that can go back in there. I have these 4, which all need magnets, and... okay, that one doesn't want to come off the bed yet. It's too hot. Okay, and I've got one in the switch wire just off camera that is actually just finished as well. I don't know if I have enough filament to print another one, but, you know, we could try. So I figured we'd just start relaxing a little bit. It's been a week since Shelby died, and it's been a pretty hard one. You never notice just how often someone factors into your day-to-day behavior whenever until they're gone. And I forgot to post stuff on Mastodon. There, now it's posted. Maybe someone will actually pay attention this time. One person paid attention the last time. That was amazing. We'll find out. Okay. Can I get both of these at once so I can see my audio levels? Yes, good. Okay. I'm astonished that my laptop, my poor old laptop at this point, hasn't just completely incinerated with what I keep asking it to do. But it is soldiering on, and so do I. Because not broken yet. Now these particular gridfinity ones are actually an OpenSCAD recreation, so I was able to parameterize it without having to like open Fusion 360 or one of those nonsense programs that so many printer people absolutely adore, and I actually don't like because you need a license or an account for that, and I just don't like that. So here's my little trick. I have one of these bases, and I loaded up with some extra magnets. You can see the extra magnets there. And I actually loaded up with extra magnets, and then I use it as a form after taking the deburring tool and just making a little chamfer on all these edges. I kind of wish that the model had a little chamfer so I didn't have to do it, but whatever. And if I'm lucky, I should be able to get some of them in there. It looks like I got 2 of them that time. Other 2 don't want to go in there just yet. And these are just a press fit. If it comes to that, I'll use some glue, but I'd rather not. Yeah, you never really notice just how much someone factors into your day-to-day behavior until you don't have them anymore. Like, that behavior of, well, we should make sure that certain doors are closed so that the cat doesn't get in, and we should make sure that that just does not want to go in there. Man, that is annoying. What is going on with that? Fine, I'll get aggressive with it then. Or, you know, how you don't want to, like, get up out of bed just yet because you're still waking up and you don't want to make any noise because you might wake up the cat and the cat will be at your door begging for food. At least that's what Shelby did. Some cats just know by time that it's time. Shelby sometimes knew that, but not all the time. She wasn't necessarily the world's brightest cat. But it's weird not needing to do that. We've already thought for a bit about when we want to think about getting another cat, and we have a guest that's going to be visiting sometime late July, and maybe we'll take a look then. Maybe. Oh, these allergies are still killing me. Why can't allergy season be over now? Well, that one's not quite in there all the way, but it's close. I swear I have to take this over to the vice. Hang on. Do I have a vice? I do have a vice. Behold, it's my biggest vice. That and caffeinated soda. And cheesy movies. Cheesy movies as well. That's another vice of mine. Look, I'm really a boring person, okay? What do you want from me? So, if we don't mind the possibility that we might completely destroy this particular base, we can kind of force it by just press-fitting it in. Hey, what do you know? It's almost as if we apply even more pressure, we might actually be able to get that to work. There we go. And there you are. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should be the correct polarity. So we just grab it. Perfect. And that goes back into the bench with everything else. I have so many of these bins now. Okay, next one. I still haven't gotten the Voron Zero back together. I keep meaning to do that, but things have transpired, and as a result, I have not necessarily had the energy to do that. Well, that's another reason why we're thinking about waiting a while, is we really would like to better clean up the house. Shelby was an uncommonly nice cat. She never knocked anything off of a table. Conversely, you could also say she was just really bad at cats. She didn't even react to catnip. Can you believe that? Anyways. I had some magnets around here somewhere. There they are. So the house is a bit of a mess as a result, like, both because we've been under so much stress lately because she was sick, and just because we knew the pattern so well that there's just some things that we could just get used to without having to, like, make a big deal about it. Oh, that one went in really nicely. Oh, that was satisfying. 1, 2, 3, 4 in one go. Oh, so nice. So nice when that happens. But if we're going to get another cat, we really should take the time to actually go ahead and like clean up the house and recap proof the house, so that whomever comes after Shelby will not necessarily be beholden to the same behavior patterns that we had become accustomed to with Shelby. So yeah, that sucks because it's longer without a cat, but also it does make sense. There we go. I think that should be good. Maybe. I mean, it just needs to be enough to register in there. Oh, did I get another one? I did. Oh man, 2 in a row. Oh, it's nice when that just goes on all at once. I know that a lot of people probably would put screws in the bottom of these instead because it would be faster. The models even account for having a little screw, and if you use some kind of ferrous screw that is attracted to magnets, you wouldn't have to worry about magnetic polarity with the bases. But I just really like the added snap, not to mention the fact that I can take this and snap it to things, put it on that or whatever. I can put this on the side of my refrigerator, but why would I do that? Other than, you know, comedy. One more, and then I can pull the other one off the bed. This roll of PLA is probably like 2 years old. But it was kept in a dry box all that time, so the print quality is still really good. I'm just really surprised by that. Wow, the autofocus sometimes even works. Sometimes. Okay, that one I got. I think I got that one. These two I didn't. Okay. All right. Will we get lucky again? Oh. Yep, we got lucky again. 3 for 3. Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty happy with that. And of course, to label these, I actually have a label maker. So all of them will get labeled. Wow, I'm almost out of bases. Okay, there's one more that's just on the switch wire itself. There we go. How much filament do we have left? Looks like we have enough for more. Question is, do we need more? Or do we need to start building bigger boxes? That's a good question, because we have a lot of little boxes and a few big ones. And at some point I'm going to have to start using the bigger ones, but I don't know when I will actually be using them. I was trying to work my way out of the M3s. I think I finished with the button heads. You can see here's like one of the button head bins. You can tell that I build Vorons because that says BHCS on it. Just like the Voron assembly manual. Okay. So I have a bunch of M3 hardware. They're all cap screws. That's all 8mm. Where did I put that little... That's an M3. Those are M5s. Those are bearings. Those are M5s. Those are something. There's the little measuring gizmo. And we do have this one other box that I'm trying to organize as well. Okay, so those are all 8mm, and well, it looks like the 8mm ones that I have in here are all gone, which would explain why I have a whole separate box of them. The question is that enough? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's set all of that junk aside. More junk goes onto the top of the bench, because we have one more box to do, and then we can think about what model we want to print. Because I have the long ones are going to be tricky because I don't have a lot of the pieces. Like, I've got only so many of them, but they're enough to be a pain in the butt. And I'm thinking that what I could do, and this one's really heavy, but see, this is a 2-unit, but you can actually get them so that you can actually make it oriented like this with the labels on the top and then split down the middle. And I was thinking about doing that for these longer M3 bolts because they'll just sit in there pretty nicely then. But I'd have to slice that up, and it's also a much longer print than the other ones. I think that would probably be one of the longer prints I've done, so that would probably be 2.5 hours. I'm not sure if I have enough filament for that, at least in this color. And if I want to be persnickety about the color, I may have to either switch to ABS, or I may have to just wait on that until the next time I have some space in my budget to buy another roll of PLA, because I think I'm basically out of space in my budget to do for project materials at this point. I could use like a different color. I do have like a bunch of red that I could use, and that might be okay. I could even do that temporarily because I was thinking of using that same size, the 2-unit vertical with 2 bins for passive components like resistors and stuff. Oh, we have one viewer. Well, hello, whomever you are. I hope that you're here. You can get a nice beverage and just relax. We're gonna spend some time at the bench. Okay, we have all of that chamfered. Oh, and that one doesn't want to go. Of course it doesn't. Ah. The heck was that? Oh, the soldering tip. How'd that get over here? Okay, that should go into the tool bin. Oh, you know what? I bet this one is actually not printed with the under extrusion rate that I had initially set for all of the other ones, so that this one's going to be particularly difficult to get anything into it. I'm going to have to argue with this a lot more. Oh no! I forgot to set that when I started the print earlier. Oh no. Oh well. It'll be fine. So tonight's Monster Dawn is supposed to be Horror Express, and my riffing group actually watched that 2 weeks ago, so I guess I won't be watching Monster Dawn tonight. Which means I need to figure out what I'm going to watch tonight, and I suppose I could watch more Voyager. I don't know why I'm going through all of that. I know why I'm going through all of that. It's been long enough that I haven't watched it, even though I know it's utterly terrible. So many of the episodes are terrible. I had to, like... It was hard getting through some of them lately, because it's just... they're so infuriating. Nope, that's not wanting to go yet. Okay, well, let's keep going. Eventually I'll get it. Or I'll have to use glue, one or the other. So I could try using a hot knife and cutting it out. Horror Express was actually kind of interesting. Like, I didn't expect a horror film of that era to go as hard as it did. That was actually kind of surprising. So I was rather surprised with it, and it was actually kind of a fun watch. I didn't really make as much fun of it as I wanted to because it was actually genuinely fun. Because that sometimes happens. Nope, that does not want to go yet. Almost, but not quite. There's supposed to be, what, 6 millimeter? Yeah, 6 millimeter, which means that this 1/4" bit is not really big enough to really ream that out. Plus, you know, the tip is way too big for that. None of the movies that I got ordered from eBay actually showed up yet. That was disappointing. I've been on a bit of a tear with that lately. Only probably spent maybe $40 on movies. Nope. Oh, wait. Yes, actually. Wow, okay, we got some of them in there. How come I'm missing that one? How the heck did that happen? I'm gonna have to press this in another way, probably. Alright, well, we'll be aggressive then. We'll use the vise. I think that worked. Yeah, I think that worked. Some of them are a little protruding a little bit, so let's give them a little squeeze. And on this side too. You don't want to squeeze too much because you'll just completely shatter the PLA. I was initially printing all of these in ABS because I was printing them on the V0. But when I started printing them on the switch wire, I decided, you know what, I've got a roll of PLA and these aren't high temperature, so let's just print them all in PLA and use that roll of PLA up. It'll use less energy and won't heat up the house nearly as badly because we won't need to actually do that. We won't actually need to run it so hot. Okay. Let's see here. What do we want to do next? We have... I'd like to get started on these. So we'd probably need to start printing off the labels. We have 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually more than enough, so we might be able to even get them all. Let's just start with a few of them. Okay, so should be able to start with the printer. I don't think I need the vise anymore. Okay, is this thing still set up like I did yesterday? Probably not. Font, width, narrow, font, size, small, frame, no, not frame, escape. I did that yesterday. Label, tab, margin. And this is the trick. You set it to chain print. And then we'll just cut them all out. Okay, so it's M3 times 4 socket head cap screw. Okay. Says feed OK, and then it's kind of weird. You actually have to hit escape, and then you can go back and edit it. So the next one would be 5. Escape. Delete. 6. Escape. Delete. 8. print, escape, delete, 10. Oh, I capitalized the X there by mistake. Well, I can fix that now. I mean, it doesn't really matter for the other one, so. 10, 12. Gripping YouTube action as I go through and print a bunch of labels. $16, $18, and somewhere around 20 it gets a little bit silly to actually start containing them all in that. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. So I do need to do the 20 just to get an equal number. Okay. And now we want to feed it and then cut it off. And then you get a big, huge line of all of these. So if I could bring back the microscope. Let's turn on the microscope. And we'll zoom that back down. This new stand is nice, but also it's so different. There we go. So yeah, here we go. And of course you can't see it because it's too dang bright. 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And then we can do this any number of ways to actually, you can use a knife to actually cut them up. But I'm going to commit, electronic hobbyist heresy here. Just a second, I'm going to put the screen back the way it was before. Fit to screen. No, the other screen, you silly goose. Someday I will figure out how to make that. Make a hotkey to do that, but I haven't figured that out yet. Okay. You can see the microscope just gets in the way, but this rigid mount's kind of nice because it just has one thing to just take it completely out of the way. Really nice. So I was going to commit electronic hobbyist sacrilege by just using a pair of side cutters. Like, it is technically, not as hard as wire, so why not? One other thing that I found out is if I cut it pretty well in the middle, I actually get it so that it's actually cut in the middle, but just has a little tab on each side, and then I can just pull it off. So you get a really neat little cut that way without having to cut it twice. But it doesn't matter if you actually don't get that, it'll still work. I know that I should probably be getting back to putting the Voron back together, but I've just been so tired because the allergies are just kicking my butt lately. Nothing seems to touch it. Any kind of meds, nasal spray, nothing touches it. Air filters, none of that helps. Very frustrating. Most boring content on YouTube. Watch some nerd use a pair of side cutters to cut labels. Nice not having any like high intensity stuff happening now, right? Okay, and that one's empty. So there we go. Okay, and now we can pull out one of our bins. In fact, we actually have several of these little bins. I didn't notice that I had a few more up here. Fun! Ugh. Okay. And there you are. And conveniently, the 4 one is right at the top. I found out that, as silly as it is, using a pair of tweezers really helps with peeling these little labels. And you can just use the back of that to just press that back on, and there you go. Nice little label. Now with the next one. I'm trying to remember why I got this particularly clear with white text label. I usually get like something boring, like black background, white text for highest visibility. But they don't sell you like a small package of these labels, so I just had to take the whole thing. Okay. What size are these? That's a 4. Ah! Come back here. Get back in there. Okay. Now, I don't know what size you are because you're just a straggler. You look like a 4 though. Yeah, you're a 4. This was actually a really neat little thing. I think that this came in like one of the Revo boxes that I ordered. And it's just really handy, like a nice little short metric ruler, but all these sizes for metric bolt sizes. Ah, it's so handy. Immediately went into my toolkit because it's like, I'm not going to get rid of that. That's too handy. Plus, I've been trying to print these, and I've just had no luck. Probably because I was printing in ABS, or my printer wasn't tuned particularly well. That's a 6mm. You... What are you? Are you a 5? Yeah, I think you're a 5. I think. Yeah, you're a 5. Okay. And there you go. And you're a 4. And all of these are 5s. There we go. And into the drawer it goes, and we work on the next one. Next one is 6s. It's an 8. That's a 6. Come back here. Come back here. There we go. 6. And then the next one is 8. So I still don't quite know how I'm going to redo, or if I'm going to redo the mini afterburner, or the mini stealth burner on the V0, because there's a bit of a problem. As we figured out the last time, the PCB mod, and I have it right here actually, has these little loops in the print for you to put a zip tie through, and it wants you to route the cable up through that and into here, so that you have this right angle here to keep the cables neat. And I didn't do that when I set that up. I routed them under the motor and over, and had a big, huge amount of extra cable on it. And now I'm trying to decide if I want to redo that. Because the problem is, if I do redo it, I'm probably going to need another, to order at least the little metal parts that go into the socket heads for that. Yeah, here we go. Really organized desk lately. Yeah, these things. I don't think that will focus. Nope. But yeah, these little metal things that go into there. Okay. So those are all 6s, so 6s go into here. Let's do that one at a time, because there's not that many of them. Those are definitely not 6s. The next one is 10s. No, next one's 8s. None of those are 8s, all those are 5s. Oh, right, I just might be completely out of those. What about these two little stragglers here? Ah, no, come back here. Don't make me put you in the screw dungeon. I think that's a 6, I think, maybe? I don't know. Looks like a 6, maybe. If I'm wrong, well, it's not that important. These are all 8s. Obviously, I got this because I don't have any 8s left. So, let's see if they're magnetic enough. Yeah, they're kind of magnetic. The really cheap ones, the black oxide ones, just really stick to this. These are all stainless steel, so they're not nearly as sticky with the magnets. But I'm trying to get rid of all of these little different plastic bins and have some organization, because they take up so much room in the bottom of my electronics bench, and I'm just tired of having all of them there. So I want to get rid of them all. Oh, crud. Come back here. Thank you. Ah! It's raining screws. Slayer never made a song about that. There we go. And we have one less box. Woohoo! Getting somewhere with that. Looks like 12s are next. You look like the 12. Oh wait, no. They're supposed to be 10s. 10s. And then 12s. Oh, God. I just realized, if I really want to torture myself tonight, I could actually dig up something that I remembered a while ago that apparently exists. You can find this on YouTube. It is a forgotten about TV pilot for A Journey to the Center of the Earth on NBC in the 90s, and it was awful. It didn't get picked up, so only the pilot survives. But apparently that's a thing, and I could put that on and torture my eyeballs for 2 hours. So that's a take your pick kind of situation. Which is worse, watching Voyager? Watching Voyager or watching some forgotten TV sci-fi pilot from NBC in the 90s, of which the only The only one that survives to this day in the popular consciousness is Sequest DSV. All right, 10 and 12. Hi RJ, didn't see you there. I unfortunately had the chat window covered up all this time. I'm very bad at this. I'm so bad at this. That's a 12. Are there any 10s in here? Are these all 12s? They are. That's weird. Where are the rest of them? What did I do with them all? That one's definitely not a 12. That's something else. The 16. Somewhere in this universe, there's someone who's forced to watch good movies. Oh, there's some little stragglers in here that I somehow missed. This one looks like a 4. This one looks like maybe a 5. If I could grab it. This is where I'd keep my bolts if I had any. That's a 5. That's definitely a 5. Boop. And you're a 4. In you go. Nicely sorted. Okay, and that's all of the 12s. Do we even have any 10s? Are we just missing the 10s? I think we are. These are something completely different. There's like, those are like 14s. Again. What? And what's this? An 18. That's an 18. That's a 14. What the heck? There's no 10s? Did I like use up all of the 10s? This is a 16. I bet these are all 16s too. Yeah, they are. And this is another, what, 16? Yeah, that's another 16. And that is also a 16. Finding all the 16s. Yeah, there's another one. Another 16. So, wow, we don't have any 10s at all. They're all gone. And what are these? I bet these are the 14s, right? Yep, those are all 14s. Okay. Okay, so 14s and 16s, so neither of those. An empty spot. Forlorn empty spot in my hardware drawer. Woe is the M310 socket head screw, for we do not have any here. I probably have some black oxide ones hiding somewhere. I just don't know where. Okay. So there's supposed, and we did 12. So that was 10 and 12. That was 10 and 12. So the next one's 14. 14, 14, 14, 14. Oh, this one's fighting me. Come on. Come on. I will have to admit, though, somewhere around season 3 of Voyager, finally Neelix stops being such a jackass, and the character is allowed to kind of breathe a little bit, and that actually makes the character that much better. Like, I think it was... I mean, Star Trek has its host of not particularly healthy relationships depicted on screen. Oh man, it has so many of those. What was it that we mentioned, just how bad father relationships are very common in Star Trek? Okay, there we go. 2 more. Okay, these are all 14s. And these are all 16s by process of elimination. Ah, no! There we go. Gripping screw sorting action. And we're up to 18 and 20. Dang. And then we can figure out what are we going to do with the rest of these, if we're going to put them in a bigger box or if we're going to try to put them in another small box, and then we'll just print the labels for them. Because we have enough boxes for each. This is 18. Taking me like all week in order to print these boxes and all the bases, and I'm nowhere near done. It's so frustrating. There's so many of them. Figures that the stream that I would finally think maybe now I have a microscope situation sorted. I barely use the microscope. That's typical. Okay, 18. Would you get in there, please? You're 16s. What? Did I screw up? But I measured those. Why is there like a second pack of 16s here? These should be 18s. That's definitely a 16. But this is also a 16, very clearly. Is that just a straggler? Did I pick up the wrong bolt? The one bolt that wasn't the 16? Yes, I did. It is not really a mystery. Okay, and then finally 20s. I think these are 20s. Yes, that's a 20. And as soon as we get to 20s, they get really hard to put in and out. You can still kind of grab them, but that's actually kind of hard. But I can still get them. So I think we'll stop there and start going to bigger ones. A bigger bin. And you are a 20. Get back in there. Alright. Alright. With that out of the way, that just means that we can start working on the next bit. A spare magnet appears. Where did I put the rest of the magnets? I have no idea where on this messy bench I would. There they are. I knew I put the magnets somewhere, but not there. Okay, so now we can start making big labels for some of the big ones. And I have conveniently 2 of those left. Now for that, we're going to print in a slightly different mode on here. These are going to be 25s and 30s. So we're still going to print the same label format. However, we're going to change the font size to large and print one at a time. And then we need one for 30. Beat OK. And there we go. Much nicer. And then, of course, we can commit sacrilege to electronics tooling by using our side cutters again. Someone just messaged me. A lot. Okay, there we go. Just letting my housemate know some things were taken care of out in the garden. I mowed, I used the wretched string trimmer because you can't find a scythe online or a grass hook or anything like that that you can use standing up online to save your life. I think I'd have to like go to a farm supply company at this point. I might be able to find something like that if I could bribe one of my friends to take me to Fleet Farm. Why are you trying to get... why don't you just get a new string trimmer? Socket wench? Well, it's because I don't like them. They are loud, they make a lot of noise, and I don't like them. And I'd rather just... And, you know, it's really metal to just have a scythe out there in your yard. You could go wave at your neighbors while holding a scythe. Thus elevating yourself to legendary status amongst the neighbors for weirdness. Alright. Getting down there. Those are 25s, as expected. And you can see how much easier it is to just reach in and get one and use bigger bins. So somewhere around 25, like 20 is the highest limit that you really want to use one of these single units for. Oh, and there's a bunch of stragglers at the bottom of this one. Oh no. I'm guessing these are all 30s, because they all look like 30s. Come here. Dude, don't do this to me. Yeah, that's a 30. So that's a 30, that's a 30. You're all 30s. Okay, that one's done. Oh man. There's so many of them. There's so many. Actually, some of these don't have labels. These two don't have labels. So we need to do something about that. It's going to be a little bit tricky once you get to the M5 hardware because, like, one bag of 100 M5 anything is just, it fills the bin to the top. And they just spill all over the place. And I really don't want to make, like, a 3 or a 4 size bin. It's just so much. Okay, there's this one straggler. What are you? You are a 16. Okay. 16 is there. And we have emptied yet another box. I'll take that Allen key, put it in our parts bin, because you never know when you might need a spare Allen key. Okay, what are these? They're button heads. We can tell that just by looking at them. This one's a 24. Okay. So 24, and this one is not that, but a B button. Not 34. That's a weird size. 24. Print. And this one? This one is a 30. Escape. And this one we want to do 30, 30. There we go. All right. Almost done. Eventually, it would be nice to actually get like all the passives and stuff into one of the drawers that's at the bottom of this to be alongside the hardware. That way I can reach in and just grab all the passives. Not to mention I can get them out of one of the buckets that are full of tools. I'm not using my tweezers. I should be doing that. There we go. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, finally. And then this one needs to get the label. Come on, there we go. Now that one's not very well centered, but that's okay. Okay, that's 24, and let's reorganize that a little bit. There we go. That's pretty nice. Well, if you don't mind seeing that, let's see if I can get that open. And you can actually see the drawer right here. So that's how we've been working on so far, is all these nice little bins, all lined up, all nicely organized, all labeled. Very, very nice to have that. And that is more than enough of me to see on YouTube. Okay. And we have another viewer. Welcome. We're just sorting screws at this point. We have all of these left. And there's no way I think that I could even get the 30mm ones. There's none left. But all these ones are like really long. Maybe they'll fit inside one of the standard boxes, but only just barely, because they're gonna start binding in there. And this one's what? This one's a 35. Yeah, that's a 35. So the question then becomes, do we want, and the volume of these are so low that it almost makes sense to like start printing these off in a different size. I'm really worried that if I try actually printing one of these larger boxes on the switch wire, we're going to run out of filament, and I'm going to have to disassemble the entire extruder in order to fix it. Maybe. It's awfully close at this point. It's tempting, though. I'm surprised I didn't have another one of those modeled and sent onto the printer. I thought I did. Didn't I? Nope, apparently I did not. Well, in that case, we print more bases, because bases are easy and they only take an hour. So let's print one of those. Printer comes up. Cool. Okay. So I guess we'll be saving this for another day. Maybe I'll print those in red, because I've got nearly a whole spool of red PLA that I'm not using, so that's fine. Okay. I did promise some mini stealth burger work, and we're gonna actually do that. So the question then becomes, what do we do about this? Because where we were last time is I screwed this up. I made this way too short because the plug is way the heck over here. How the heck am I gonna fix that? I could try... So there's two different ways. I could disassemble the hot end and try to move the heater cartridge to have the wire come out the other side. And that might just be long enough to get to the end. Or I could just replace the entire heater cartridge since I'm taking it apart anyways. Not that this matters that much. This is my backup. Not sure. Oh, wow, that is really tight too. That is the other problem that I had with this hot end, is I think I really had to torque the hell out of it in order to actually get it to mount. Okay, so before we destroy the entire hot end, let's do the smart thing and actually remove what we worked on so far. There we go. Should we get the microscope out finally? Man, that is still surprising just how much clearer that is. Okay, how did I do that? How is it pointed? Oh. Oh, wow, okay. So, that really does angle around. I should probably get like a level sensor, a little level bubble or something up there at some point. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take all of this out. I'd rather not destroy that one zip tie if I can get away with it. And we can just remove the entire hot end assembly from the rest of the printer. I can remove the sad, pathetic remains of the silicone sock. Okay, now we can start torquing on this thing and not have it completely destroy everything around us, if I can get it. Oh, jeez, that was so torqued down. Wow. Okay, well, we moved it. Put it back in on the other side. Hopefully all the electrons won't fall out. See, I think the problem is that it's hard to see. Here, let me see if I can get that just right. You can see that this is actually bent here, probably because this heater cartridge is not necessarily to spec for this particular Dragon hot end, and so I really torqued that down in order to get that tight so I could have some good heat transfer. So I'd probably ruin this heater block, but I'm going to be putting a Revo in it anyways, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. Okay, anyways, now that we have that there, and our heater sensor is still where it needs to be, still just barely poking up, should be able to put that back into the extruder on this messy, messy bench. YouTube's messiest bench. Just need to get that PTFE tube in there. There we go. And the switch wire is going. And guess what the fun part is about this? Now I bet this is going to be too long. No! No! Yes, I need to redo my nails. My nails are awful right now. That's not anybody's fault. There are reasons. Well, we have 2 people watching right now. Hello! I do not like how that's interfering there. I really wish I could rotate that a little bit more. Well, I'd have to take it out. Okay. So I'll take it back out again. See if I can get that. What if I let that be a little bit loose until I'm feeling kind of confident with how I have that bent? What if I did that? Wouldn't that be amazing? There's no good place to put that. Yeah, there's no good place to really put that, because if I want to get that to go up, it's going to shove the heater cartridge way too far over outside, so that's not going to work. Okay. Okay, how I had it originally wasn't working, so okay. I don't like it. But if we want to get that just right... Oh man, that's still loose in there. There we go. Okay. Fine. Fine. Alright, this means that we're going to have to snap this zip tie here. Layers as big as cats. I did find one questionable thing on eBay that I just could not resist getting, which was a 5-disc collection of The Prophecy starring Christopher Walken. Now, if you wanted an obscure series of films, there you go. There's one right there. Oh, crud, I forgot to route this all the way through. It says 5 movies, and it says 5 discs on the label, so hopefully they're not as badly encoded as some of them I've had. Some of them I've had are just so wretchedly encoded. Pixels are just gigantic. It's awful. I think I should get one of those zip tie pullers. I think Jan Beta actually has one of those. I don't think my shop's fancy enough for that. I don't have a cool enough accent for that either. Okay. Hey, that might in fact work. So we have the heater cartridge. It's reasonably centered in the middle of the dragon. There's a little bit of a bump here where it hits the side, but it seems okay. And then it routes all the way up into here. And now we have to see if we can get it to go into one of these little plugs. I want to mention how absolutely nice it is to have physical controls on this microscope. It is so nice. Nope, that's wrong. We need to have it upside down, like that. There we go. So a little hook goes in. A little hook on that side. God, that hook is gigantic on this. I can actually see it. Polarity doesn't matter here, it's just a hot end. And then if we're lucky, we could just argue that around, and there you go. That's a little bit of a tight bend there. Not exactly fond of that. A bit of a tight bend. However, I think that will work. Ah, God, the texture on that's awful. It's all waxy. Now, it's a practice run. We don't really care. I don't really want to tighten this loop up yet either, because I don't know where the motor's going to come out. Because this one's the broken motor that has the broken wires on it. And there's no good place of doing that. I guess what you could do is you could route it. You could route it either way because it comes out of the top. There's significantly less wires coming through on this side, because on this side we only have the thermistor and one of the 5-volt fans. One of the no, that's the 24-volt fan. Okay, so there's the thermistor. And that needs another zip tie too. I'm trying to keep the microscope in the scene now, since I can actually see it. There we go. There we go. Again, I'm not entirely too concerned about if this actually functions or not, because my primary goal here is just kind of practicing, just to kind of get the feel of the layout. And that is a lot nicer feeling, the way that just comes through that loop there. So that just leaves the motor line. Yeah, how do we want to do that? Because we want to strain relief it at the top so these little PTFE covered cables don't snap. And we have a spare motor here. And no, it's the same kind of PTFE wire as before, so it feels very brittle and very thin. It's not nearly as flexible, it's not soft, but it is a high temperature motor, probably higher than silicone is rated for, so yeah. Because the goal is we don't want to have, let's get the microscope out of the way. There we go. Oh, that is so nice, just being able to take the microscope and just go zoom, shove it out of the way. So what we want to do is, I want to strain relief the motor at the top so it doesn't break like this one did. But I don't really want it to go through the top here. I mean, I suppose we could zip tie it to the top just like the umbilical, and then route it down and through, but I kind of don't want to do it like that. I'd rather see if I can mount it through like one of these side wires, side loops, and then make it go to the main motor connector here. I think that's possible. It's just that you can see the angle that it puts that at. You'd have to give that some distance. Like the idea we would have to do is like put some heat shrink or something on the top here to strain relief that. Or just simply give it enough cable that if you wanted to zip tie it to this boss here, you could do it, and that would be fine. Eventually I'll just have to print off another one of these cowls so I can actually get this one to be useful instead of just kind of an experiment. Also, I need to print the standoffs over again. I just have this bolted together temporarily because that's all I care to do right now. I don't care to do anything fancier with that right now. Just enough to bolt the dang thing together is all I care about. So yeah, we don't want to introduce a huge amount of strain here at the top of the motor. We could strain relieve that with some heat shrink so that it actually has some heft here. And either we leave it so that we zip tie it to this boss on the top and then just kind of loop it around the umbilical like so, or we can go that way. Oh, that looks so much nicer though. That looks so much nicer if I were to do that, because then I can just route it through one of these holes, one of these zip loops into here, and really keep that all in one nice unit. So that would be the way that I would do it. The question is, do I want to do that with this model with the spare motor that I've got, or do we want to call it a day and just chill? Not sure. How long have we been going so far? Well, I don't know. I think it's been at least an hour. Yeah, it's been just over an hour. So the problem is I'm so worried to actually cut the motor line. Even if I'm just going to repin it. Even if I'm not going to use this motor. I'm still worried. I'm so worried. I don't want to do it. Even though I know that there's one upstairs that works perfectly fine. That and this chair is starting to bother me again. I still haven't brought down one of the chairs that used to be Shelby's, so that we could use it for other purposes. I found a cat plushie, and we also had ordered another cat plushie that looks quite a bit more like Shelby than the one that I originally had from a decade ago. And nope, not that one either. And I hadn't brought it down yet because I had put the cat plushie in her chair. I know, I shouldn't do that. What do you know? It's the Allen key that we pulled out from one of those bolt boxes earlier. Random Allen key saves the day. Because I still left all of my iFixit toolkit upstairs. On top of the 4 on 0. Whoops. Nope, that's going to take a while longer. Not many comments at all today. That's okay. The one downside of this microscope setup is that I can't quite get it to be tall enough now. I can try like doing something like that, and then I can go back to OBS and oh, that's almost perfect. But even then, it's like so close. Fingers are huge! I have to say, actually having the monitor here, you can barely see it because I don't have the web camera very well positioned here, is really nice, actually. Seriously? Oh my god. It's stuck It's stuck to the bolt. Alright. Ah, boy. Come on, silly thing. Let go. Let my motor go. There we go. Yeah. I was not impressed with this, this is what, a Fistech? Yeah. I was not really impressed with this Fistech motor. It always got really, really hot. The LDO one doesn't seem to get nearly as hot, at least in the switch wire. I don't know how it's going to react into V0. We're going to find that out. I have to admit, I am getting tired. Okay, that's good. The LDO wiring is cheerier than the Fistech one. The Fistech one had these colors in it: black, blue, green, and red. And this one has yellow. Just seems to make the cable cheerier feeling. Someone who knows color theory would probably be able to talk about that effectively. Okay. We have the new motor, very badly mounted. And there's my headset. It's dead. No, my headset. Oh well. Let's just set that aside. Okay. What is with these cheap, horrible rubber binders that they give you these things? It's just, I don't know what it is. They feel weird. Okay, well, there we are. And the thought that I had was we want to route this down, over, and then like that. So let's give us about that much cable. And if you're a fan of Mr. Bob Ross, you know that this is your bravery test. I felt my heart just skip a beat doing that. Okay. And while we have it there, we probably want to see about putting some heat shrink on it. Why don't I have all my heat shrink inside of little boxes? I think that I would have done that by now. A few different sizes. Either of those might work. I think I have most of... I think I took Thursday and Friday off this week. So maybe I'll do some rare weekday streaming. You can't see anything. There we go. Okay, so there's our heat shrink. Just like that. I might want to get the other side of that. Go. And if we wanted to, we could double that up with another little piece of heat shrink, just to add a little bit more strength to that bit. Someone's probably yelling, "No, don't do that!" Okay, and now that we have that, we can start trying to get a graceful bend here going. Comes out like that, goes around, and then we want it to go through the loop there. It's arguable to add even more heat shrink to it. Then, at this point, we could put yet another piece of heat shrink on it, but not actually heat it up just yet, because what we really want to do later is do that after we get the plug back on it. Maybe. Actually, you know what? No. I don't like that. I want the cable to be open at this point. And yeah, technically we have like a lot of spare here with how we routed that. Could back that off a little bit and give it a little bit more room. Here's our original line. So here is the orientation of the plugs. We don't want to remove that because that's our guide to putting it back in. Fortunately, we do have this sucker that we don't need anymore. If I can get it in the frame. Which is proving to be far more difficult. Ah! Oh, you're wiggly. Why are you so wiggly? I could also just, like, go to the correct bin and pull out a real connector, a new connector instead of this one. Probably should. Where did I put that anyways? Put it somewhere. There it is. Alright. Do I want to trim this again? Or do I want to give this more room just to be nice? I kind of want to trim it again, but man, I feel like I'm just killing myself. Every time I trim it a little bit more, it just makes my heart want to stop. Okay, so the original color code is from this direction: yellow, red, green, blue. So let's do the yellow one first. Alright, let's turn the microscope off again, because that's gonna... you're not gonna be able to see what I'm doing all that well. Let's just turn light off. Oh, that is so nice, just being able to grab that, move that out of the way. That does work. Wow. Okay. Okay, where did I see the strip? Wow, there's only 4 left on here. Better not make any mistakes. Just wait, I'm gonna make lots of mistakes now. So many mistakes. Oh, before I put that on, I need to get another size of heat shrink. No, I don't. What do you know? Messy Desk provides, because it's right here. And we only need a little piece of it. So you put little tiny pieces of heat shrink on it to ground out, to isolate all the lines after we put the connector on the end. There we go. There's some network person out there who's like looking at all these different colors and all this wiring and remembering days and days having to spend with, you know, a stamper tool to make network cables, and they're going having terrible flashbacks about setting up a data center somewhere. Tiny wire, can't see a dang thing. I don't need the hot air tool or rework tool anymore. I'm done with it. And immediately the next step is I need the hot air rework tool. Who would have guessed? Except everybody. There we go. Okay, that's red. Red is the next one. I guess it makes perfect sense that last week I had such a hard time doing any of these connectors. It's just so despondent. Whereas this time I just feel like I'm having no issues at all. Just wait, the next one's just gonna kill me. someday we'll be done with the printer stuff and we'll actually get back to some newer electronics projects. I have a QRP SWR meter that I was planning on building. But I just hadn't gotten around to it. Because, as is the theme of this video, things transpired. Last one. Not even sure if I have any more after this. I might. They might be hiding somewhere in the house. On the bench. In a box somewhere. Who knows? The shadow does not know because the shadow is not here. There we go. Alright. Do we want to put another piece of heat shrink over this to make sure that all the pieces stay together, or do we want to not bother because it's just a pain in the butt? I don't know, maybe. I need to feel that's a kind of a pain in the butt. But then again, this is all so loose here that it's making me want to do something. What if we did this in little stripes instead, just enough to keep the wires together? What if we used a piece of heat shrink, because that one is way too small? The idea behind that is now we have a little stripe in the middle that lets the wires come out and still be a little flexible. Well, we can actually shrink that up and bind them together so that they don't actually come apart. And then we can put them into the carrier. And it goes... We want to do. Let's do this with the microscope, because that'll be fun. Because this is the last thing that we're going to be doing today. Okay. So yellow goes in on the far side, so we first have to find the little hook. It's got to go where the window is, so it goes over here, and then the red one. Come on. Come on. And the red one. that in, it clicks. Then the green one. I don't think that one clicked all the way. Nope, it did not. There we go. How's the red one? Okay. And then the blue one. Hooks on, goes on the bottom. Clicks in. Check our work. Here's the original. Here's our remade one. Yellow, red, green, blue. Okay. And then we have to twist it around a little bit. And then there we are. And yeah, that's still a bit too long. We can kind of give it a little bit of play here. Here, let's turn the microscope back off again. Yeah, so it's sticking out a little bit too far for my taste. Like, I think I probably could have trimmed that a little bit more. But I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. Maybe it's a good thing that it's like farther up. Okay. And yeah, the motor is really sticking out there, but that's okay. So yeah, that is the redone Dragon Hot End. I think we learned several really good lessons here. But I think the most important one is probably we do want to have this motor line fairly constrained so that it doesn't snag on anything back here. And we may in fact want to put heat shrink all the way through it too, because just look how much that's dangling now. So we'll have to be very careful about that in the future. But I think that's good for now. Alright, so that is our hot end, and I think I'm going to stop the stream. It's almost 4 o'clock, so it's time for me to get my evening started. Thank you for joining me, and it was fun. See you around.